We're back with part 2 of our spring cleaning series, and today we are talking with Tracy Hoth. She is the host of the Organized Coach podcast, and she is another wealth of knowledge and a breath of fresh air. She brings a different approach to decluttering and organizing that I've not heard before, but sounded surprisingly similar to the way that I do it myself. She just had a better way to articulate it. As a certified organization coach and life coach, she has real depth in some of the ways we do what we do and we don't do what we want to do. I'm so excited for you to be a fly on the wall in today's conversation, and I hope that you walk away with a lot of practical tools and questions to ask yourself when you hit that resistant wall, when you hit that wall that says, I don't know how to get rid of this. What do you do next? You're going to hear her walk me through an exercise with something I'm holding on to in my own life. It's a powerful, powerful episode, and I'm thrilled that you're here. And if organizing is something that you need to do after decluttering, before you decorate, I want you to come and book a decorating SOS call, because all three of those things work compatibly together in order to create a space that delights you and tells your story with your style. So friend, you can book that call by going to figandfarmathome.com/decorating-SOS. All right, enjoy today's conversation with Tracy. We grew up with the phrase, home is where the heart is, but our culture has shifted and now the message is, home should be Pinterest perfect. I'm calling BS on that message. Home, it's not about the stuff, it's about the story. And whether you know it or not, your home is a reflection of you and is already saying something. So what is it that you want it to say? Hey, I'm Danny, a former first grade teacher turned home decorator. Going from a dual income to a single income so I could stay home with my babies meant budget, like ramen eating, Goodwill shopping budget. And I learned a few things along the way, like how to bring big style to your home without breaking the bank. And I'm sharing it all with you. Tips, tricks, decor, and design advice so you can learn to tell your story with your style, where you can start living free from the Pinterest perfect trap and start living a life of intention. Welcome to Fig and Farm at Home, where we design happy living and where it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. Tracy, I am so happy to have this conversation with you. Thank you for joining us and just being a guest here at the Fig and Farm at Home podcast.
Yes, thanks, Danny. I'm so excited to be here and talk about organizing.
Yeah. And you know what? The ladies who listen to my show absolutely love it. And I kind of nerd out on this topic. So I'm super thrilled to talk to you about it because I have a lot of questions. But before we dive in, tell us a little bit about who you are and who you serve and why you got into this. Tell us that story too.
Ooh, okay. Well, my youngest daughter, I have 4 kids, and my youngest had a best friend in our neighborhood, and she couldn't go into her house. Her mom wouldn't allow anyone to come in the house. And it was about the time when she started school that I wanted to start helping people get organized. I kind of even knew it before I had kids that I wanted to do that. And I started helping her for free in exchange for photos, and she let me in and she let me help her, and it impacted her kids' relationships and her family, and my daughter was able to go play in her room, and it was just so sweet. So I started helping people organize. I did that it's been since 2008 that I've been in homes and offices helping people, and in 2017 I found coaching. And I'd never been into self-help. I'd never once thought about mindset and how it plays into organization. And then I got certified in 2018 and started growing my online business, just helping people virtually. And I created a program for women pretty much midlife and on to declutter and organize and leave their family a legacy instead of a giant mess. And I also started helping people organize the back end of their business because as I grew my business online, nobody ever taught me any of that. So I really just am combining the mindset piece and your identity and who you think you are, because you cannot outperform your identity. So if you think you're a mess, if you think you're disorganized, you're going to stay that way. So you really have to deal with that and then take the practical steps of organizing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said something really interesting and so sad about that little friend whose mom was so embarrassed probably that she couldn't invite the little one over. And Tracy, you
Yes.
don't know that, but that was my story growing up. I lived in a home that I would be mortified if someone came over unannounced. I rarely had the birthday party at home. I rarely had, people
Mm,
coming in because it was just my mom was amazing. She was an amazing gardener, but inside of our home, it was a mess. My room
mm.
was a sanctuary. But that is a reality for so many women. And
Yes.
gosh, blessings from you because that opened up her world and her life, I am sure. And the
Yeah.
little one, because it impacts little ones too.
Yes. And yes, you're right. She never had birthday parties at her house. We always went somewhere. But the mom was great. She was such a fun mom. She would take kids to the mall and like hang out at the mall with them and like back when there was a mall and
Yeah.
do super fun things with our kids. And she wanted to be there, but she had a little bit of OCD and she just couldn't keep up because she folded clothes so perfectly. She just
Hmm.
couldn't keep up with all the stuff. And she was
Yeah.
very particular about keeping sets together. And, just, I mean, people like that are amazing because you want someone to be particular and careful. But yet in the home, it was too much for her to keep up with.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, interesting. I assumed that her problem was clutter, but it might have been the OCD thing and
Yes.
wanting to have everything organized. Okay, let's start
Yes.
there. Tell me, is there a difference between clutter and being organized? What is the difference?
Well,
How do
so
we define it?
organized in my definition is knowing what you have and being able to find it when you need it.
Yeah.
So that a lot of times lets people's shoulders relax. They can just think, oh, okay, so I'm more organized than I thought.
Hmm.
That's a great place to start because you might know what you have. Now, you want your family members to know what you have and be able to find it, or people in your office, to be able to find what they need as well, or on your computer. So that's challenging, but that's a simple definition. And clutter to me is delayed decisions.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
it's like you haven't decided on a home for that. You haven't decided if you're going to keep or get rid of that. You haven't put it away in its home yet. So that's just what clutter is.
Yeah.
And all of that's so neutral. Like it is neutral. It's not shameful or bad. It's just like, okay, you have some stuff that you haven't made decisions on. No big
Yeah.
deal.
Right.
That's where you start.
Yeah, and I think if we think of it in terms of that, and that's how I think of it too, like clutter is unmade decisions. That's all it is. And
Hmm.
sometimes, though, you can be overrun by decision making. Now,
Yes.
okay, here is what I teach my people, and tell me how I'm doing because I'm not an organizing coach. But I know that when we're decorating our spaces, we have to do those pieces too. Like, I can't
Right.
just go and paint the wall and put the wallpaper on if I don't start at the foundation, which is we've got to take care of the decisions and the clutter. And then we can organize it, make space for them, find their homes, and then it's the beautiful place. Then it's I
Yes.
get to make it. Get to make it pretty, right?
Yes.
So I kind of liken it to a pyramid, like a little triangle in the foundation. Can we start at the bottom of that and the
Mm.
decluttering? Because
Yeah.
I feel like that is the trickiest part is making those decisions. And
Decision. Yeah.
yeah, decision fatigue.
Well, the first thing with that is knowing where you're going. I
Okay.
think knowing where you're going is important. Knowing the purpose of a room,
Hmm.
knowing what your activities are, what you need for those activities, what your purpose of your life or home or whatever. And it doesn't have to be deep and you don't have to have a mission statement, but
Yeah,
just knowing being able to put the destination into the GPS is really important because then when you make a decision, you're like, oh, does it fit with this framework that or this life current season of my life? Does it
right.
fit with those things? And then you can make a decision. My steps spell the word space. And so sort is the first step and purge is the second step. And I always tell people in the purge step, now you have categories of like things. And I don't tell people to sort in categories like keep, donate, sell.
Okay.
Sort into categories like with like. So office supplies, books, paper, jeans, just different categories like that because you can get going without
Yeah,
having to make decisions. So then
right.
you go back to each category and then you start making decisions. But I always say choose your favorites first. It's
Okay.
easy because whenever you, and I started this with kids, but now it's like, oh, we all need this. Because when you say, okay, what do you want to get rid of? And you're like, ooh, you tighten
Yeah.
up and you're like, I don't want to get rid of anything.
Yeah.
So pick your favorites. What stapler do you go to every single time? What pair of jeans do you put on every single time? So pick your favorites first, and then you can go through and ask questions. Does this fit into my current stage of life? Can I be generous by letting someone else use it because it's been in the closet for 15 years?
Yeah.
And questions like that, does it work? Does it fit? Does it look good? You know, things like that
Yeah.
to make decisions.
Okay. I love that. And I love that you're starting with the idea of and like categories because that eliminates that decision making. The only decision you are literally making at
Yes.
that point is I'm gonna do it. That's a decision.
Yeah.
But then it's like uh kitchen things or it is officey things. I love that.
Yes.
Here is my question for you. What happens when we hit that roadblock of, I hear terms, and I'm sure you do in this space, of aspirational clutter or sentimental clutter. Like the aspirational being, but those jeans fit 5 pounds ago. And I really, really they're my favorite and I really want to wear them. But I know they're taking up space and I could probably, like you said, be generous to get rid of them and let someone else use them. How do we get through aspirational clutter? And then let's do sentimental clutter separately because I think that's a bigger dragon.
Such good separating it out like this is really good. One of my clients just last week realized that she had the thought, I'm being responsible by keeping this item. Like I'm being responsible. I don't throw things away or I don't get rid of it or I'm keeping it until I need it or to motivate me or whatever it is
Yeah.
aspirationally like what she realized is she's being selfish by keeping it, and she's being responsible and generous by letting it go. So it's
Interesting.
kind of just seeing, and that might not work for everybody, but it's like seeing what the thought is that's keeping you taking the action of holding on to something.
Hmm.
So and then she saw like that wasn't what she wanted. She didn't want to have an entire house full of stuff because she was being responsible. And we even talked in a different call about family heirlooms. And it's responsible to keep family heirlooms. We're supposed to keep family heirlooms. I guess that would be
Yeah.
the other category that you said. We're supposed to keep things that we might want to do later because we're responsible. That's at the aspirational part of it. We're supposed to keep that. We're not supposed to let go of something and then have to buy it again because that's irresponsible. Maybe, but maybe there's something else true there. Maybe we're being generous by letting it go and letting someone else use it. Maybe we can see that we will be provided for
Hmm.
and be able to see that and we can trust that we'll have everything when we need it, exactly when we need it,
Ah,
not keep it in case we need it.
yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so interesting and I love it. And okay, my mom's no longer with me, but I'm going to go back to my mom for a minute because
Okay.
she was a Depression era baby and she kept things. I think that's it, Tracy. She
Yes.
kept things because it was oh my gosh, I might need it someday because I went for so long without, I might
Right.
need it. And
Yeah.
she had it. If I needed
Yes.
the box that would fit those three things perfectly, mom would somehow have it. But that really affected so many different things, including me and my siblings and our lifestyle at home and our comfort level, bringing people into our space and all of the things.
Yeah. Well, and it served her, right? It
Yeah.
served her up until the point when it didn't serve her and
Yes.
it didn't serve the family. And
Yes.
so it's recognizing and having someone see that thought in you through coaching or, something, a friendship, to be able to reflect that back to you and then you be able to see, oh my gosh, I've been keeping it because I thought I was being responsible. And now I don't want that result anymore. I don't want to have a house full of stuff anymore. So, what else could be true about it that we could
Right.
consider?
Right, right, exactly. And I imagine, let's come back to this, but I want to say it before I forget it. But I imagine that, as we are talking to women who are in similar stages of life, their kids are starting to leave the house, they're now having a lot to manage. I imagine there's some responsibility to keep the things that used to be their lifestyle. And now those
Yeah.
decisions are maybe running the show. Okay, let's table that for a second. Can we go to the sentimental clutter?
Okay.
And you hit the nail on the head because this is something I talk to my clients about. Those
Mm.
family heirlooms that come into, we get it from grandma, we get it from auntie, we get it from someone, and there's that obligation, that responsibility. I have to take care of this, even though, oh my gosh, I hate that thing more than anything
Yeah.
else. What do we do then? I always say well, I'm curious what you say.
Yeah.
Tell us what you say because I have an answer to mine.
Well, it's been fun in my Organized Life Academy. We had a talk about a woman who inherited Hawaii dishes. They were from Hawaii. Her grandmother or somebody went there and got them. So that's an example of it. And I felt almost like I was scared to say it out loud that we don't have to keep family heirlooms.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something more responsible, more generous that we can do. And a bunch of people gave such good examples. And one of them was call a local or find a local Hawaii ethnicity group in your area and see if anyone there wants it. And
Yeah.
the other thing I said was, we don't have to keep sets altogether. And the lady was like, yeah, because I use this one like triple layer, serving platter or something. And she goes, I want to keep that, but I don't want to keep the rest of it. And then someone else said, maybe they showed us picture where they had plates and they had a picture of the grandparents like Mod Podge on the plate and it was so beautiful and they had given that plate to all the cousins or something.
Oh,
So they each
yeah.
had a plate with their grandparents' picture on it, which
Yeah.
could be so sweet and so fun. And yet we have this heavy thought that we have to keep it and it has to stay in a set. And then one other idea I thought was really good was there is a local like addiction support group that sets up homes for people and they were building some new homes. And I'm like, how fun would it be
Amazing.
to imagine like your Hawaii plates are being used by someone
Yes.
in need? Like it's
Right.
so fun.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Privately, send me the name of that organization if you know it, because that is my dream to be able to have a little ministry on the side to say, I want to be able to set up homes for people
Yes.
and do little makeovers here and there in order to, I mean, they're in such hard straits and I would love to be able to bless them. So
Yeah, I know two
I would love
different
that.
places like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, exactly. And when we can start thinking, and you're right that it goes back to the mindset. When we can start thinking about that decision a little bit differently, that clutter or
mhm.
that organization a little bit differently than we had before, it's a game changer.
Right.
It's a real game changer.
And it does take time and allow yourself that time. Like there's
Yeah.
no rush in it, but just brainstorm 25 reasons for the opposite being true. Like
Yes.
I
Oh,
should keep this. Okay, let's brainstorm 25 reasons why you shouldn't keep this.
yeah.
And don't stop until you get to the 25th reason. And it's so fun. I'm so you might need the help of a friend, but you
Yeah.
you can just see all the reasons and it just helps your brain just loosen up and relax and consider and play around with, try on these other thoughts that
Right.
could serve you so much better.
Yeah. I love that so much. 25 reasons why you don't. I love that. Okay. Can we do that with me real quick?
Oh, yeah. What do you have? What do
Okay.
you have that you're
What do,
keeping?
what do I have that I'm keeping? Um, I am keeping, um, what am I keeping?
I always think of something you have like in your storage room that's been packed away for
Uh-huh.
15 years. Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I I am keeping I'm keeping this is so silly. I'm keeping I have three sewing machines. I
Okay.
have my sewing machine, my mom's sewing machine, and I have a serger. So I'm keeping my mom's sewing machine. Let's start
Okay.
there. Okay.
Okay. So let's just start with 10. 10
Okay.
reasons why you should let that go.
Okay, the obvious one is because I know it will bless someone else.
Okay.
Number two, I don't need two. It,
Okay.
I literally know how to use mine. I don't know how to use my mom's. I would have to learn. That's number three.
Oh,
I would have to learn how to use my mom's. It's taking up space in my closet. I would rather have more space. I guess that's five. Um, It's collecting dust.
Mm,
Um, I'm on 6.
that was fast. You already thought of six.
Which makes it, how do you get to 25?
I don't know. I
But
mean, maybe you
that's
can't.
that's really a great little exercise.
Yeah. There might be a program where they need, like at a Christian school or
Yeah,
something where they're teaching after school program. There might be something like that where they need more
yeah,
sewing machines to teach people how to sew.
yeah,
So this is kind of goofy, but I always think of the item as having, I think there's a name for this, but I think it's fun to think of. The item has a personality
yeah,
and it's just sitting there. It's like not getting used. And so what like Toy Story kind of, and
exactly.
it's bored and
Sad.
it's sad and it wants an adventure and it's life. And so you could let, so that could be something you think about.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's not good to give
Humanistic
objects.
qualities, yeah. But no, I mean, that is funny. I immediately thought of Toy Story as well.
Yeah.
But that's really good. And on a side note, I did, when I went through my mom's things, she had a lot of sewing things, and I did give a lot of like the notions to
Right.
our local middle school. And that was I loved that because she needed scissors and tape measures and chalk, fabric chalk and all
Yes,
the things.
yes.
So that was a real treat to do
Well,
that.
Danny, here's another question with that. If it wasn't your mom's sewing machine, would you have a problem getting rid of it?
No.
So, one of my clients just realized that she had something that was a memory. I just had a podcast out. She gave me permission to share that in a podcast, but that was her mom's. And what another thing, after listening to the podcast again, she wrote to me and said, actually, when I look at it, it kind of makes me sad. Like she had a doll and she looks at the doll and it kind of made her sad because she doesn't even really know if that was her mom's. She has no memories of it with her mom. And so sometimes just writing through the memories that you have and processing through some of that is really powerful. And so she spent some time writing about this doll and how it's making her sad thinking about it. And yeah, and so that is like releasing all of this stuff and some good memories, but some bad memories. And just the fact that she wasn't able to go through her mom's things because she died when she was 16. And so it can be this healing journey as you declutter and go through things as well.
Right, right. And I think too, going back to this idea of like downsizing your space so that then it doesn't become that for your children,
Yes.
right? Oh my
I
gosh.
I have
Can
a
you,
client who, oh,
yeah,
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, can you speak to that?
Yes, I have a client who was a caregiver. She's in our group, so we knew she had been caregiving for her father. And when her father passed, she had to, I reach out to her. I'm like, is there anything I can do? And she's like, Tracy, do not stop telling people to
Mm,
take care of their things because you're grieving when your parents pass and then you have to go through all the stuff.
yeah,
And so she had written later, like she got that house ready to rent in 3 months because of these tools that she learned. And she was able to find homes with other family members for some special, more special things that her father had and which brought her so much joy. But if there was a ton of stuff to go through, it's just so overwhelming. So
yeah,
start now and go through your things now.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so can you go back to your acronym space?
Yes.
Because I think, we've gotten the idea, okay, we need to do it and we need to know the purpose of the room. We need to make that first decision of we're going to declutter so that we can then get organized. And so sorting is the first S in space, and then purging. What are the rest? What do
Okay,
we do
so those are the declutter steps, sort
now?
and
Okay.
purge. Now
Okay.
you know what you're keeping. So now it's time to organize. And the A is assign homes. You're going to
Okay.
find a home for the item. And it's a little bit of a what do you call that? A little bit of a puzzle. And you're just making decisions and you can move things. Here's another example of a client who this was this thing that stopped her because she thought she needed the perfect place. She thought she needed the permanent place to store
Mm.
things, and she couldn't decide on the permanent place.
Oh,
So now what she's realized and what she's saying is, I'm considering that this might be the permanent home for this item. And so
okay.
she would put the item, store it. That would be its home. Maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it won't stay there. And what she found was this overlaps into all the other areas of her life where she was staying stuck, like even with dating.
Yeah.
She didn't know if this was the permanent one, so it was hard for her to consider. And she's
Yeah.
like, this is crazy that it overlaps in these different areas. So assign homes. And once you have the home now and not before this step, you know that you need to contain it.
Okay.
So a lot of people go buy containers at the beginning and thinking they're going to make
Yep.
them organized and all the baskets and stuff.
Yep.
Nope. Wait till you get to this step and then shop your home first. Now you know exactly the size, you know what piece of furniture you need or a divider you need to contain the category of items. And then the final step, so that's the organized step, and then the last step is energize. So when you get to this, I mean,
Yeah.
over celebrate, go back, look at that space, see how organized it is, and the energy you have now can be used towards your life, what you want to do in your
Yeah.
life instead of moving things around.
Yes.
And then in order to maintain that energy, tie it to things that you do already. So I always think of taxes, tie cleaning out your paper with when you do your taxes. It happens once a year, every year.
Yeah.
Tie the going to the gas station with cleaning the trash out of your car. While
Hmm.
the pump is giving you gas, you clean all the trash out.
Yeah.
Or when it's trash day, you go through your fridge and clean out the fridge, or before you bring groceries in, or before you finish laundry, you tidy up your closet. So little things like that will help you maintain and have that energy to use in other places.
Yeah. I love that. I was gonna guess that the E was enjoy, which is almost the same. Like enjoy your
Ooh,
space, right? Because how
that
many
is
times
good.
are you managing stuff, especially when your
Yes.
babies are little or not even when you're babies. I mean, you can have stuff at any stage of your life, but when you are spending so much time managing your things, you can't enjoy your space. And
Yes.
okay.
I love that. We're gonna do that one sometimes.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. Okay. So I love that most everything that you're saying here is if we're stuck, we have to go back to the mindset. We have to think of the alternate, the foil to whatever
Yes.
the roadblock. But are there any other circumstances, any other stuck pieces, areas that you've found that could be a good tool for these women who are like, okay, I'm working on the mindset, but I just can't quite do it. Or I hear what you're saying, but I need an
Yeah.
extra little kick in the pants, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I always like to ask that question, why are you not organized? And just see what comes up as you answer it. So
Yeah.
maybe you think you don't have time. Maybe you think you don't know where to start. Maybe you think I have too much stuff. I did a podcast episode on this too, but it's so powerful. There's a 1,000-piece puzzle. And when we dump the puzzle out, we're not overwhelmed. We don't care. We just start by sorting, right? And we
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
the edge pieces.
Yeah.
And then we gather like colors together and we
Uh-huh.
put them together and we enjoy it and we invite our friends and we turn on music and we have so much fun. And it's almost like therapeutic to do it.
Right.
So you could think of neutralizing how much stuff you have in your house. Like it's just 1,000 pieces. It's fine. You
Yeah.
just have to start by sorting and then going through and
Mhm.
putting the puzzle together. So you could have that visual in your head. The other thing I was going to say, um, I created a 15-minute declutter challenge, and I think reducing the amount of time that you in your mind you're resisting doing something because you think it's going to take an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so the 15-minute declutter challenge lists the steps, explains what to do, and then you just set your timer for 15 minutes and focus like you're taking a test and
Yeah.
really get into that 15 minutes going through a smaller space. So pull out a drawer, do one shelf or, something in your bathroom or your nightstand where you're
Yeah.
just practicing the steps. Because once you know the steps and you get practiced at doing them, you're going to get better and better. And then pretty soon you'll be able to do anything.
Yeah, and do the harder pieces, the ones that are a little bit
Yes.
harder, trickier to get done.
Yes.
Yeah.
So start with
Okay.
something easy for sure.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see that that might be something you have for our guests. Do you have the 15?
Yes.
Yay! Can you
Yes,
tell
for
us about it?
sure.
How do we get that?
Go get it. It's at simplysquaredaway.com/declutter. Simply Squared Away is the name of my business. But in that, you'll get it, you'll download it. There's even a little print off, one of the sheets you could print off so you could hang it wherever you're decluttering. It has the steps listed. And then make sure you take a before and after picture. And so I have, when you download that, you'll see some before and after pictures of women that did the declutter challenge. And it's been crazy because I've done this for, almost 18 years and never created something like this until last year. And all the ladies in Organized Life Academy, I said, test this out. And then we did it together sometimes. And they're like, I can't believe how much I can get done in 15
Yeah.
minutes. It's been
Yeah.
so fun to see. And it
Right.
just gets you started.
Yes. It's like a domino. You do that
Yeah.
first one and then it kind of gamifies it just a little. Like,
Yes.
really, how much can I get done in 15 minutes? Or if
Yeah.
you're on a roll, maybe you can even say the length of your favorite podcast, which hopefully is one of
Ooh.
ours.
Yeah. Listen to
Or
an episode.
yeah, how much can I get done in that time frame? That is always
Yeah.
my motivator when I'm doing something really hard is I'm just gonna put a parameter around it and I'm gonna give myself a teeny tiny little reward at the end, whatever that is. Maybe it's watching Instagram reels for 2 seconds.
2 seconds turns into 2 hours.
Yeah,
Um,
not really, but yes, it
yeah.
can. It can.
Yes, totally. One of my clients was stuck for so long, and she said, Tracy, we made a plan together, and her thought that helped her get unstuck was, I have a plan. And then she committed to sorting 5 pieces of paper a day. And because her house was just overrun with paper and she was so busy and taking care of her husband and teenage daughter. And she sorted 5 pieces of paper. Some days she did more, obviously. And she transformed her life because of that little tiny commitment.
Amazing. How long did it take her?
We worked together for probably 12 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. And it actually becomes fun. I had a client who was doing digital files, and she was like, I couldn't sleep last night. So I got up and sorted my files on my computer for 2 hours, and it was so fun. I'm like, who would have
Oh,
thought that you said sorting files was fun? But it
right.
is like sorting, I think, because you're not making decisions, you're just
Yeah.
getting them like with like together.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then when you see that progress happen, that is the fun part. That is like the
Motivating.
dopamine hit, right?
Yes.
I love that feeling of that wide open space, whether it's on your computer screen, in your closet, on your bedroom floor, wherever that kind of mess or organization needs to happen. It
Yes.
just feels so good.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, so I have to share what I'm doing. We go through an Organized Life Academy, one area of our house at a time each month. And I'm going through the same areas. And my filter, kind of my question I'm asking myself was, does this item make me feel elevated
okay.
and even spoiled?
Oh,
So
okay.
every item, I'm like, this does not make it even as simple as I look down as a pen.
Yeah,
I do not like certain pens, and
yeah,
I don't want to feel ugh. When I
yeah,
look at my pen drawer, I only want to have the pens that make me feel elevated. Or
yeah.
in my bathroom, I only want to have the cream or the serum that I love.
Right.
So I'm asking myself those questions. And the other thing that's helping me a lot is I mean, we kind of looked at moving, but we're not planning on moving. But if a dream house came
Yes.
available, and could I list my house in like one weekend? So
Yeah.
as I go through each space, I'm like, is this room ready to be listed? And am I going to move everything in this room?
Yeah.
And that has helped me so much, like make decisions on the things that I'm keeping or letting go of.
Oh, I like that. I love that so much. And I think whether it's not those two questions, someone listening could probably come up with their own question. Like,
Exactly.
does
Yeah.
this thing, I mean, the Marie Kondo, does it make me feel joy or whatever? But you could probably put whatever word or filter or feeling onto the end of that and allow that
Yes.
to be your own filter.
Peaceful. Does
Yes.
this make me feel peaceful when I walk into this room, when I
Yeah.
open this closet or drawer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, I love that. Okay. Last question. And then we'll say goodbye for now. I do want to have you back on
Okay.
the show. Um, what is your take and I already think I know the answer. What is your take on the Marie Kondo approach that is dump everything out of your whatever
Ugh.
room, everything out of your closet, and we're gonna get it up, do it all right now.
I
Tell me your
remember
hot take.
watching that episode where they took every single thing and they just piled it all on the bed. I was like, and they brought all the shoes into the living room. Those are the only two I think I remember watching. But I was like, what are they doing? Because I've been in so many homes and the person after about an hour gets so overwhelmed, they
Yeah,
just can't keep going if they
yeah,
don't have someone with them. But
right.
I say, especially with your closet, just pull out one category, pull out all your jeans and
Yeah,
then do the 15 minutes and spend time, try them on, pick your favorites out first, and then make decisions and put all your jeans back, decide where they're going to live, and put them in their home.
yeah,
That is so much easier. And you could do one category each night or week or
yeah.
whatever. But oh my, when I saw her do that, I was like, that is the worst thing I've ever seen to do to someone. And then
Yes,
leaves them there to go through it. And I'm like,
right.
that's exactly it. You're picking something up and like deciding on it. But I did that with a client and she had 19 short sleeve white shirts. So every white
Yeah,
shirt she picks up, she's going to be thinking, of course, this is my white t-shirt
yeah.
until she sees them all together and there's 19 of them. And she's like,
Right?
I do not need 19 shirts.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, so sort first and just do one category if you can,
yeah,
at
yeah.
a time.
Okay. We are soul sisters. That is exactly my
Yes.
approach too. Like, no, you're going to be now sleeping on that bed of clothes because it
Right.
is so overwhelming. You're not going to get to it.
I know.
Oh, well, it has been an absolute joy having you here with me. Where can people connect with you, listen to your show? Tell us all of that so that they can be inspired and encouraged by.
Yes, my podcast is the Organized Coach Podcast and get the 15-minute declutter. That's the best place. So my website, simplysquaredaway.com/declutter.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Danny.
Hey, real quick before you go, if you learned something new or found value in today's podcast, would you head over to iTunes to Fig and Farm at Home and leave a review and subscribe to the show? That would be awesome. And if you'd like to connect with my community of mamas who are learning to be intentional storytellers within their own homes, join us at bit.ly/design101 group. There's always more room at the table. See you soon.